Good afternoon to everyone. I am Dr. A. Komati. I am working as an assistant professor in School of Maritime Studies, Department of Physics. Last two sessions we have discussed in IMUCET questions, problematic prop sums. In this class today we are going to discuss about the direct and simple questions. Let's start the discussion now. First question is, which of the following is a fundamental physical quantity? Option A is velocity. Option B is force. Option C is mass. Option D is density. The answer is mass. Fundamental quantities are basic quantities which is not derived from others. Example, mass, length and time. These are the fundamental physical quantities. Then derived physical quantities are velocity, force and densities. Which of the following is a fundamental physical quantity is mass? The next question is, what is the unit of force? SI unit of force. First, we already know that what is force. F is equal to ma. F represents the force and m represents the mass and a represents acceleration. F is equal to ma. The SI unit of force is Newton. The next question is dimensional formula of velocity. What is velocity? How we can define the velocity? Velocity is equal to the rate of change of displacement. Simply we can say velocity is nothing but displacement by time. Displacement, how we can measure the distance in length. So L by time t. The dimensional formula of velocity is L by t. Otherwise we can write L t power minus 1. The answer is option B, L t minus 1. Next question is, displacement is a, option A is scalar quantity, option B is vector quantity, option C is dimensionless quantity, option D is constant. What is scalar quantity means? Scalar quantities has only the magnitude. There is no direction, which is called as scalar quantity. Then vector quantity. Vector quantity has both magnitude as well as the direction, which is called as vector quantity. Now the displacement is a vector quantity. It has both the direction and magnitude. Speed is defined as, what is speed? How we can calculate the speed? Speed is equal to distance by time. The rate of change of distance, which is called as speed. Our next question is unit of acceleration. First, we need to know what is acceleration. What is the definition of acceleration? Acceleration is defined as the rate of change of velocity. Velocity is nothing but the rate of change of displacement. Okay. Now how we can derive the unit of acceleration means velocity, we can write the unit meter per second, then time divided by second. So meter by second square. Otherwise we can write meter second minus 2. This is the unit of acceleration. Seventh question is, area under velocity and time graph represents the distance or displacement. Option B. Because the integral of velocity over time gives displacement. Our next question is, when velocity is constant, what will be the acceleration? Acceleration is defined as the rate of change of velocity. Acceleration is equal to velocity by time. Now what is the question means? When the velocity is constant, what will be the acceleration? So when velocity is constant, the acceleration is automatically zero. Constant velocity means no change in velocity. Okay. Next question is, which law states every action has equal and opposite reaction? Newton's third law. Newton's third law says that every action has equal and opposite reaction. These forces always occur in action and reaction pairs. What about the Newton's first law? Everybody is in continuous state of rest or in uniform motion, it will be rest unless or until applying any external force. This is Newton's first law. Newton's first law is also called as law of inertia. This inertia is directly proportional to the mass. Then Newton's second law. Newton's second law states that the rate of change of momentum F is equal to ma. Newton's third law states that every action has equal and opposite reaction. The law of gravitation, option D, fourth one is law of gravitation. The force of two masses is directly proportional to the product of two masses m1 and m2 and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. This is law of gravitation. But in this question, they are asking every action has equal and opposite reaction. Which law states this? This is Newton's third law. Next question is, inertia depends on. Inertia is directly proportional to the mass. If greater the mass, greater the inertia. Both are directly proportional. Inertia and mass. Inertia is depends on the mass. Next question is momentum. What is momentum? P is equal to mv. M represents the mass and V represents the velocity. P is equal to mv, momentum. Frequency and time period relation is. Frequency F is always inversely proportional to the time. So simply we can say F is equal to 1 by T. According to Newton's law of gravitation, option A is F is directly proportional to m1 into m2. Option B is F is directly proportional to 1 by r square. Option C is both A and B. And option D is none of this. What is Newton's law of gravitation means? Newton's law of gravitational force is directly proportional to the product of the masses of two bodies, which is m1 and m2, and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So F is directly proportional to 1 by r square and F is directly proportional to m1 and m2. So the answer is Newton's law of gravitation The option C, both A and B. F is directly proportional to M1 into M2 divided by R square. Next question is SI unit of work. What is work? When we are giving the force to the object, it will be moved from one place to another place. This is called work. Work done when 1 Newton of force moves object 1 meter. The unit of work is equal to joule. Next question is power. Power is defined as work divided by time. The ratio between the work and time, which is called as power. Then simply we can say power is rate of change of doing work. So the option is work by time. The next question is work done is zero when. There is no work means work done is zero. When it will happen? The option A is force is maximum. No. When we are giving the force to the object will displaced from one place to another place. So something work is done there. So option A is not there. Option B, displacement is zero. If displacement is zero means if the object is in the rest and same place. So there is no work. So work done is zero when the displacement is also zero. The answer is option B. Work done is zero when the displacement is also zero. Our next question is gravitational acceleration on Earth is approximately 9.8 into meter per second square. It is the standard gravitational acceleration. Our next question is SI unit of power is, what is power? What is power? The unit of power means watt, joule per second. Power is nothing but the ratio between the work per time. The unit of work is joule. So joule per time. Time, the unit of time is second. Joule per second. Otherwise, we can say the power unit is watt. Next, pressure. What is pressure? How we can define the pressure? Pressure P is equal to force per unit area, F by A. Next question is heat is a form of option A energy, option B matter, option C force, option D motion. Heat is a form of energy. It is transferred through three methods. One is conduction, convection, and then radiation. Heat is a thermal energy which is transferred due to the temperature difference. Our next question is Charles' law relates. What is Charles' law? What is the definition of Charles' law? When the pressure of the gas is kept constant, the volume of the gas is directly proportional to the temperature. When the pressure of the gas is kept constant, the volume is directly proportional to the temperature. So, Charles' law relates option B, volume and temperature. P is directly proportional to T, temperature, when pressure is constant. This is Charles' law. Our next question is Boyle's law. Boyle's law states that when temperature is kept constant, the pressure P is inversely proportional to the volume. When the temperature is constant, the pressure is inversely proportional to the volume. This is called as Boyle's law. P is directly proportional to 1 by V. The option B is the correct answer. P is directly proportional to 1 by V. Our next question is SI unit of frequency. The SI unit of frequency is Hertz. Option A is the correct answer. What is frequency? How we can define the frequency means the number of waves are produced in 1 second. The number of waves are produced in 1 second, which is called as frequency. So N is equal to 1 by T. Number of waves are produced in 1 seconds. Always this frequency is inversely proportional to the time period T. So we can write F is equal to 1 by T. The SI unit of frequency is Hertz. Our next question is speed of sound in air is approximately 330 meter per second. It's a standard concept. In P-type semiconductor, majority charge carriers are holes. Charge carriers is nothing but electrons and holes. In P-type semiconductor, holes are the majority charge carriers and electrons are the minority charge carriers. Okay. Then in N-type semiconductor, holes are the in N-type semiconductors, electrons are the majority charge carriers and holes are the minority charge carriers. These materials can be classified into 3 types based on the band gap energy or Fermi level energy. Conductors, semiconductors, and then insulator. If there is no band gap between the valence band and conduction band, both the bands are overlapped together means which is called as insulator. The band gap energy or Fermi level energy is more. These materials are called as conductors. Then the valence band and conduction band distance is less or medium, which is called as semiconductors. These semiconductors are also classified into 2 types, P-type semiconductors and N-type semiconductors. These P-type and N-type semiconductors depends upon the majority charge carriers. Charge carriers is nothing but here electrons and holes. The majority charge carriers holes in the P-type semiconductor. In N-type semiconductor, majority charge carriers is electrons. Our next question is doping in semiconductor. What is doping? Doping, which means adding the impurities to the pure materials, which is called as doping. Adding pentavalent impurity producers. If N-type semiconductor, we can add the pentavalent impurity because it has 5 valence electrons. Pentavalent atoms donate extra electrons. So, doping in semiconductor adding pentavalent impurity producers N-type semiconductors. Our next question is speed of light in vacuum is 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second. Next question is a body moving in circular path experiences the centripetal acceleration. When a body is moving in a circular path, it will experiences the centripetal acceleration. We can say A is equal to V square by R. A represents the acceleration, V which means the velocity, and R resistivity. So A is equal to V square by R. Our next question is torque is defined as. What is torque? Torque is equal to force into distance. The product of force and distance is called as torque. The SI unit of torque is. The definition of torque is force into time. The product of force into time. So the unit of force is Newton and distance is meter. So the unit of torque is Newton meter. Sound waves are option A is transverse wave, option B is longitudinal wave, option C is surface waves. What is transverse wave? Transverse wave motion is the wave motion in which particles of the medium execute simple harmonic motion about their mean position in a direction is perpendicular to the direction of propagation of waves. It is called as transverse wave. The second one is longitudinal wave. Longitudinal wave motion is the wave motion in which the particles of the medium executes the simple harmonic motion about their mean position in a direction of along the propagation of the wave, which is called as longitudinal waves. These sound waves are longitudinal waves. These longitudinal waves has compression and then rarefaction. Then the transverse waves has the crest and trough. What is crest? What is trough? The maximum displacement of the particle in the positive side, which is called as crest. The maximum displacement of the particle in the negative side, which is called as trough. Transverse wave consists of crest and trough. Then the longitudinal waves has compression and rarefaction. Next question is unit of wavelength. The unit of wavelength is meter. What is wavelength? How we can define the wavelength? The distance traveled by a wave during when a particle of the medium completes one vibration, which is called as wavelength. The distance traveled by a wave during when a particle of the medium completes one vibration, which is called wavelength. Our next question is, if two bodies collide and stick together, it is called as option A is elastic collision, option B inelastic collision, option C is perfect collision, option D is friction collision. So the answer is inelastic collision. Our next question is, a ray of light from air is incident in water. Then, which property of light will not be changed in water? The answer is frequency. The unit of kinetic energy is the unit of energy or kinetic energy is joule. Heat transfer in solids mainly occurs in conduction. What is heat? Heat is the form of thermal energy. It is transferred between two bodies or systems due to the difference in temperature. Okay, heat is the form of energy. It is transferred between two bodies due to the difference in temperature. What is temperature? Temperature is defined as the state of the body that derives the direction of flow of heat. It is called as temperature. Okay. Heat is transferred in three methods. What are the three methods? Conduction, convection, and radiation. First one is conduction. Heat energy is transmitted from one place to another place without the actual movement of the particles, which is called as conduction. Then second method is convection. What is convection? This conduction takes place in solid, liquid, and gases. Next method is convection. Convection is the heat transfer method. Here, heat is transmitted from one place to another place by the actual movement of the particles. In conduction, there is no actual movement of the particles. In convection, heat is transferred from one place to another place by the actual movement of the particles. The third one is radiation. What is radiation? It's also one of the heat transfer method. Heat energy can be transformed from one place to another place without the medium. It is mostly takes place in gas and liquid. So in this question answer is heat transfer in solids mainly occur in conduction. Next question is heat transfer in liquids mainly occurs in convection. Then the expansion of solids due to heat is called. When we are giving the heat to the object, what will happen? It will expand. The thermal expansion will happen. Expansion of solids due to the heat is called thermal expansion. When we are giving more temperature to the solid material, it is called as thermal expansion. What is the formula or equation of ideal gas? The ideal gas equation PV is equal to nRT. The two identical spheres which is having the capacitance C are at potentials plus volt and minus volt. They are connected by a wire. Find the loss of energy. The formula of loss of energy E is equal to half CV square. C represents the capacitance and V represents the voltage. Next question. Energy stored in capacitor C is equal to 2 microfarad. Voltage V is equal to 100 volt. The formula of energy stored in capacitor E is equal to half mv square. So we can write E is equal to 1 by 2 into 2 into 10 power minus 6 This microfarad we have to convert as farad 2 into 10 power minus 6 into 100 into 100. If we simplify the above derivation, we will get 0.01 joule. Increase in temperature causes molecules to move fast. When we are increasing the temperature, the molecules inside the body is move faster. Brownian motion is observed in liquids and gases. Wave motions transfers the energy. Next question is the rate of change of velocity, which is called as acceleration. Acceleration is nothing but rate of change of velocity. So the unit of the acceleration is equal to meter by second divided by second. So meter by second square. Otherwise we can write meter second minus 2. This is the unit of the acceleration. The law of inertia is also called the Newton's first law. Newton's first law. Everybody is in everybody is in continuous state of rest or in uniform motion. It will be rest unless or until applying any external force. This is called as Newton's first law. Everybody is in continuous state of rest or in uniform condition. It will be same rest unless or until applying any external force. This is called as Newton's first law. This Newton's first law is called the law of inertia. The mechanical energy is the sum of kinetic energy plus potential energy. The energy E is equal to kinetic energy of mv square plus potential energy mgh. So we can write E is equal to the sum of the kinetic energy and potential energy. E is equal to of mv square plus mgh. The next question is frequency is inversely proportional to the time period. So we can write f is directly proportional to 1 by t. Our audible sound frequency range is 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz. The echo is produced due to the reflection of sound. The echo is produced due to the reflection of sound. The radar is working under the principle of echo waves. These echoes are produced due to the reflection of sound. The next question is law of conservation of angular momentum applies when external torque is 0. When external torque is 0, the law of conservation of angular momentum applies when external torque is 0. Electric current is flow of option A is proton, option B is electron, option C is neutron, option D is photons. The answer is electrons. The flow of electrons is called as electric current. Ohm's law states that V is directly proportional to IR. The answer is option E. The potential difference between the two conductors is directly proportional to the current and resistance. V is directly proportional to IR. This is called Ohm's law. The transformer works under the principle of electromagnetic induction. In a certain circuit, the transistor has a collector current of 25 milliampere and base current of 65 microampere. So what is the current gain of the transistor? The current gain we can define as IC by IB. IC, which means current in collector. IB means current in base. So we can substitute these values 25 into 10 power minus 3 divided by 65 into 10 power minus 6. So the current gain beta IC divided by IB is equal to 384.61. The next question is, which of the following logic gate is a universal gate? The universal logic gates are NAND gate and NOR gate. Here they have given the options: A is OR gate, option B is NOR gate, C is AND gate, option D is NOR gate. So the universal logic gate is NOR gate. A transistor is operated in a common emitter configuration. BC is equal to 2 volt such that a change in the base current from 100 microampere to 200 microampere produces a change in the collector current from the current gain B is equal to change in collector current divided by change in base current. The ratio between the current in collector and change in current in base. So we write beta is equal to collector current 5 into 10 power minus 3 divided by 100 into 10 power minus 6. So the answer is option D, 50. Electromagnetic waves travel with the speed of light. Electromagnetic waves are travel with the speed of light. Our next question is motion in straight line, which is called as rectilinear motion. Motion is in straight line is called rectilinear motion. If motion is in the circular path, it is called as circular motion. The next question is work done when force perpendicular to displacement. When the force is perpendicular to the displacement is 0. Work done when force perpendicular to displacement is 0. Next question is Ohm's law states that according to Ohm's law, the potential difference across a conductor is directly proportional to the current flowing through it if temperature remains constant. So the answer is voltage is proportional to the current. V is equal to IR. In photoelectric effect, the photoelectric current option A is depends both on intensity and frequency of incident light. Option B is decreases with the increased frequency of photon, doesn't depend on the frequency of photon but depends only on the intensity of light. Option C is increases with the increase of frequency of incident photon. Option D is work function is 1 electron volt. In photoelectric effect, the photoelectric current is increases with the increases of frequency of incident photon. If EA be the electric field strength due to a short dipole on the axial line and EE be the equatorial line at the same distance from the center of dipole. The axial field EA is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 2p by r cube. The equatorial field EE is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught p by r. Now we are going to find out the ratio between the axial field and the equatorial field. EA divided by EE is equal to 2 by 1. So the answer is 2EA is equal to EE. The photon of energy 8 electron volt is incident on a metal surface of threshold frequency is 1.6 into 10 power 15 Hz. The kinetic energy of transmitted photoelectrons is the formula of kinetic energy is equal to h nu minus h nu naught, which is equal to 8 electron volt. So simplify these equations, we'll get the kinetic energy of emitted photoelectrons is 2 electron. And electric motor converts. An electric motor converts. Option A is electrical energy into mechanical energy. Option B is mechanical energy into electrical energy. Option C is heat into electrical energy. Option D, light into electrical energy. The electrical motor converts the electrical energy into mechanical energy. Explanation. Motors work on the magnetic effect of electric current to produce rotation. For example, fans. When we are switch on the fan, what will happen? The electrical energy which is converted as the mechanical energy. So the fan is continuously rotating. An electrical motor converts electrical energy into mechanical energy. They alpha particles are. The radio waves are classified into three types: alpha, beta, and gamma particles. These alpha particles are, it consists of two protons and two neutrons. So helium 2 and 2, upper and lower, both the places also occupied 2 helium. Alpha particles consist of two protons and two neutrons. It is similar to the nucleus of a helium atom. So the answer is option A, helium nuclei. Which law states every action has equal and opposite reaction? It's Newton's third law. Newton's first law is also called as law of inertia. Law of inertia states that everybody is in continuous state of rest or in uniform motion. It will be the same only unless or until applying the any external force. This is Newton's first law. Newton's second law states that F is equal to ma, the rate of change of momentum. Newton's third law states that every action has equal and opposite reaction. The law of gravitational force. The law of gravitational force states that F is equal to the product of the masses m1 and m2 is directly proportional, and then which is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So F is directly proportional to 1 by r square. Our next question is density of water is approximate. Density is defined as mass per volume. So density of water is approximately 1000 kilogram per meter cube. Next question. The law of inertia is called as Newton's first law. Everybody is in continuous state or rest. In uniform motion, it will be rest unless or until when we are applying any external force on it. This is Newton's first law. Newton's first law is always also called as law of inertia. Then the next question is heat transfer through vacuum occurs by radiation. Heat transfers through a vacuum occurs by radiation. Radiation is nothing but heat energy can be transferred from one place to another place without the medium, which is called as radiation. Radiation takes place only in the gases and liquids. Conduction takes place in solid, liquid, and gases. In convection takes place in liquid. The heat transfer through vacuum occurs by the answer is radiation. Then the next question is the boiling point of water at normal pressure is. The boiling point of the water is 100 °C. When we are heating the liquid into 100 °C, it will attain the maximum boiling point of temperature. Next, the unit of resistance. V is in Ohm's law states that V is directly proportional to IR. So from this equation, we can derive the resistance R is equal to V by R. So the unit of resistance is ohm. Which of the following is a scalar quantity? First, we know what is scalar quantity and what is vector quantity. Vector quantities has both magnitude and direction. For example, displacement. Displacement is a vector quantity. Then, what is scalar quantity? Scalar quantity, which means it has only the magnitude. There is no direction. The following is a scalar quantity. Option A is velocity. Option B is force. Option C is speed. After option D is displacement. The answer is speed. The next question is the unit of kinetic energy is. The energy unit is joule. The mechanical energy is nothing but the sum of the kinetic energy and potential energy. Kinetic energy is equal to E is equal to half mv square. The potential energy E is equal to mgh. So the mechanical energy is equal to half mv square plus mgh. The electric current is defined as Q. The charge Q is equal to the product of current and time, which is called as charge. So from this equation, we can easily derive the value of current I is equal to Q by T. Q represents the charge and time T represents the time. So the electric current is defined as rate of charge per unit time, Q by T. The device which is used to measure the potential difference. Ammeter, option A. Option B is voltmeter. Option C is galvanometer. Option D is barometer. The potential difference we can derive by using voltmeter. The answer is option B. Then the electric motor converts electrical energy into mechanical energy or mechanical energy to electrical energy, whether it is electrical to heat energy and mechanical to heat energy. The electric motor converts the electrical energy into mechanical energy. This is the correct answer, option B. Our 18th question is electromagnetic induction was discovered by option A is Faraday, option B is Newton, option C is Einstein, option D is Weierstrass. The electromagnetic induction was discovered by Faraday. The answer is option A, Faraday. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for all the participants.